Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome to another Crypto Maniacs Podcast. Always streaming for your viewing pleasure on Vim, recorded on 3Speak, and if you're hanging out on the web too, stuff like YouTube and Twitter or X, what are you guys doing? Like, come on, like, come over to the good side of the force. Task, I'm in your country. Are you scared?
No, it was going to hell long before you got here. So,
So, for those that aren't aware, if you care about John Go news, I'm actually in America. Been here since Saturday, and I'm sitting in a truck stop in the lovely city of Gary, Indiana, home of the Jackson 5. Yeah.
Oh, wow, you're really seeing the sights.
Definitely seeing the sights.
Yeah,
But yeah,
hit up Newark while you're at it if you want to see all the shitholes.
yeah. Well, to be
St.
honest,
Louis, I mean, there's a bunch of them.
oh yeah, I'm sure. Well, I don't even know where I'm going next, so I'm kind of stuck in the truck stop. We've been here for about 31 hours now because we don't know where we're going next. So there's actually a small convoy of us. There's 5 of us from the same company, all parked here at the truck stop. So we've kind of just been, dude, I haven't slept more in like months. Like all I did today, I slept all day. Like didn't do anything productive at all. And apparently this is what you do when you're waiting in trucks. You sleep. I don't know. Anyways. But I got on Threads. So I was messing around with Threads today. So it was good. It was good. I could play catch up. So no lizards, Eliana. There has been no lizards. The lot lizards, apparently that's an urban myth. I've not seen them. Maybe at more of the sketchier places you'll find them, but this is a very very clean truck stop. And apparently this is where Love's Truck Stop passed. Do you know about Love's Truck Stops?
No.
No?
The only one I know is Flying J. That's the big one.
Yeah. So Love's, Flying J, TA, those are the big ones. But our company, all the drivers seem to love Love's. This is the spot. So anyways, it's been fun. Other than sitting around and waiting. I mean, we got our load done yesterday at like 9 a.m. Drove through Chicago at rush hour. That was fun. Driving a semi, driving through Chicago. That was fun. But anyways, enough of my boring life. What are you doing, man? How you been? Everything good?
Yeah. Anybody shoot at you in Chicago?
Nah, man. No.
Come to Orlando, we'll shoot at you there.
Perfect. Yes, I plan on going to Florida next, so I can get shot at.
Well, you do know Orlando's like always in the top 3 in murders in the U.S.
Oh, it's great. Yeah,
Disney World, and it's like in the
they
top
keep,
3.
But they keep Disney World away from Orlando a little bit, right? It's kissing me, right?
It's not downtown. It's not like on OBT.
Right.
You're not going to find any lizards running around, where Disney is, Lake Buena Vista area. But
right,
there are some lizards running around, like on OBT. Yep, you'll find some Orange Blossom Trail. You'll find some lizards there.
Oh,
just so Eliana knows, she's looking it up on the internet now. Where
she is, yes.
Blossom Trail is, so she's.
Oh man,
stay up on things.
Oh boy, we can already see. But yeah, man. So it's good. It's good to be back, man. Because I used to come to the States all the time, and COVID hit, business went kaput. I haven't really been around. So this is the first time I've been in America. I was thinking about it. Me and my wife were talking. The last time was when my wife and I. It was before we got married, and we went down to Vegas. So that's 8 years ago. So I haven't been in America for about 8 years. So not much has changed.
I haven't been in Canada since I was like 11.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot more to see down here than in Canada.
So. Yeah, well, and I didn't see any. I mean, we were young, and we went from Lake Placid to Detroit or to Michigan, and we went over through Canada to get down there, and we did it drove through the night, so I slept. So I didn't see any
Oh,
of
very
Canada
good.
anyway.
Yeah, you missed the moose, man. That's it.
Hey, when you leave, would you take Biden with you?
Well, one of them, Biden or Hunter or whoever. Yeah.
Hunter knows about lizards now.
Yeah. You know what's funny? And this is, a political commentary here. You're driving through the states and you see the odd, like Trump signs here and there, that, but like day to day, going to the truck stop, seeing the guys and girls that are working, especially in this industry, no one mentions it. Everyone's just doing their thing. It's like the media portrays this like big divide, but you're out there and you're there each and every day and you see that division is literally on social media. Every day there's
Well,
people going to work,
if you
you
got
know.
into California, San Francisco, Los Angeles,
Right,
you get into New York, around the city, you'll see a lot more of it.
right.
Massachusetts,
Yeah,
you'll see a lot more of it. You get into the center part of the country, like you said. I mean, the people they may show up in boat or whatever, but
yeah.
they're too busy working.
That's what I noticed. Everyone's like super friendly. Like, like the people in the truck stops, the people working at the truck stops, the other truckers. So, but again, grain of salt here. I've been doing this for 3 days. So, I haven't experienced everything yet. But anyways, um, you know, it's been interesting so far. So, yeah. But yeah, man. We got a few questions. We can dive into them and discuss things. Sounds like a plan, or do you want to talk about
Yeah.
lot lizards some more? No?
No, I think we about covered lot lizards.
Okay, lot lizards. And sorry, John, watching in Vim. No more lot lizards talk. I know you are hurt by that, but yes. Anyways,
He'll put up a threadcast on them if he
yeah,
wants.
perfect. Yes, tokenized
I
as
don't
soon as
know. I don't
possible.
know why the damn image isn't showing up. I loaded it.
No, it works. Just every now and again, it doesn't. Like when you click, when you sent that to me, you said the image wasn't working. I clicked it, the image loaded. So it's dude, it's Leo, man. Like, sometimes it works, sometimes Nah. Anyways, it is working. I'll refresh and see. No. Anyways, the ads are up though. That's good. Anyways, Threadcast was up, courtesy of Taskmaster. Lucio says, have a great show. We will try. Precious said, how can the tag Threadcast be used properly without being abused? And you kind of hit the nail on the head there.
Have a
Use it for
broadcast
have a
that it's time
broadcast.
to. I mean,
Right.
it's not that complicated. I don't know if he was confusing Threadstorm with Threadcast. I mean, people get that confused, but a Threadcast cast gives it away. It's like tied to a broadcast, like this show, the AMA, an EPL game, a Major League Baseball game, an NFL game, the Grammys, the Oscars, whatever. It's tied to some type of broadcast, the season finale for whatever, you know, that's what a threadcast is. And if you set up a threadcast
Right.
for some type of broadcast episode, fine.
It's yeah, it's and it's a very unique position that all social media, but specifically we want to focus on with Leo and Threads and Hive and stuff, is that there is a community feel to it. Like I see the people that are asking the questions each and every time we go live, and I'm not like we haven't sat down and broke bread with Tokenized, but he feels like he's part of the show. You know what I mean? Like that's what's really powerful about Threadcast is that
Yeah, but
people.
you won't break bread with him because his grains come from beer. He said that.
Oh, right, and he'll drink the Heineken. So, right, perfect. But see, like,
Yeah,
yeah,
and it's a way to get two-way in involvement, back and forth with the community or the viewers, and for our audience doesn't do it, but a lot of the threadcast, there's engagement among the audience, of going back and forth, and that's a cool thing too.
yep. Yeah, just one more cool feature on how you can actually use this Web3 stuff. So building relationships, beautiful. And Task actually responded there too. But here we go. This is Dave Chi 2. Is there a separate Discord for the community, because it seems the one provided and presented to the public is locked and probably not functional? I think he's referring to you have to get verified inside of Discord for Leo. I think that's because you have to go through some verification processes because of the little hack they had a couple months back.
Yeah.
So it is open to everyone. You just got to follow the steps and your account will get approved. It's literally just liking something or pressing a button. It's pretty
Yeah, I
straightforward.
think, it's nothing complicated.
Yeah. If I figured it out and Task figured it out, anyone can figure it out.
Yep.
So there you go. That's yeah, there you go. Exactly. Like Lisa, hello. She said it's like a watch party. That's exactly what a threadcast would be. Exactly what a
Yeah.
threadcast would be. A watch
Yeah.
party. Yeah.
Exactly. And it can apply to anything, just as long as it's centered around some type of event.
Yep. Yep. Like just watch on Saturdays and Sundays when the EPL guys are talking.
Yeah, and then it'll be very interesting to see what UNFL clowns get going. And I expect there to be a lot of activity because the NFL, since it is once a week, is very popular and fans tend to be very passionate. And unlike EPL, in the NFL, I did mention this in one of the EPL threadcasts, I said, wait till the NFL, because if you get somebody who's a fan, they're all going to bitch about the playing call. Oh, why the hell they run on 3rd and 7? They should have passed. Or why'd they run on 2nd and 9? And
yeah, right.
Everybody hates their coach, and half the teams hate their quarterbacks unless your quarterback's Mahomes. And then
Or
even
Josh.
part of their fans hate Mahomes. I mean, it's just,
How can you hate Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, well, if he throws a few interceptions and loses in the playoffs, they hate Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, true. Good point.
It's
Yeah.
fan loyalty only goes as far as what have you done for me lately.
Well, caveat: I'm wearing the hat of a franchise that had something called the Decade of Darkness. I'm also a Buffalo Bills fan. For 17 years, we weren't in the playoffs. And
shut up. Be a Jet fan. Be a Jet fan.
No.
They're like half a century. Nick fans, half a century.
I don't care.
Come on, that dark decade. Big deal. Get some of these teams. How about the Cleveland Browns?
Dude, the Buffalo Bills went to 4 straight Super Bowls and lost each one of them. Like, it doesn't get worse than that.
At least you made it there.
I know. That's the one thing. We do have the record of going to 4 straight Super Bowls, which has not been. Kansas City had the chance to beat it a couple of years ago, but they lost out. So, yeah.
Yeah, but you're right. You guys choked the big one. I don't deny that, but
yeah, thank you.
It's still
we like
piss and moan like when you have the Jets and you have the Cleveland Browns and organizations like that are just pathetic for decades.
Yes.
The New York Mets. There's a good one. How about the Washington, whatever the fuck they're called this week under the ownership of Daniel Snyder? Not exactly a stellar organization. And shout out to Jimmy Adamas. And I love Jerry Jones, Jimmy, because you can't win with that guy pressing all the buttons. 30 years, and they got those Super Bowls with Jimmy Johnson and Jerry Jones.
Yeah, it was Jimmy Johnson. That had nothing to do with Jerry, right?
Yeah. So I mean, there's lost decade. Hell, a decade's nothing in sports. You got franchises out there that have sucked forever.
It's a good point. Manu Photo's up. Manny's up. He said, "Did you guys see Vitalik saying every layer 2 in Ethereum has a back door just in case?" Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean it's that's actually the subject of I think it's going to be the subject of my article tomorrow. And as I've said, banker chain. And now probably every layer 2 is going to have to be going to be regulated. Good luck on that one.
The banker chain, the
Yep.
banker chain. Yeah, man. I did not see that news, but like, you got to wonder because it's all, like all the Ethereum stuff is Solidity, right? And like, isn't that pretty much the only place that code is used? Like,
Yeah, It
it's
was written. That was written for those smart contracts,
right.
and all the
And
smart contracts are in Solidity, and it was a language created for that.
mm,
And
so
so
having
it,
hacks is,
well,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, one of the biggest reasons why you have hacks is just people aren't familiar with it, and people, who you're going to get to review it. I mean, if you write something in SQL or Python and say, "Hey, look at this code," I mean, you could go to thousands upon thousands of. I mean, you can throw that out there, and everybody and their brother who knows coding will be commenting, "Hey, you screwed up here. Hey, there's a vulnerability there." Um, you go with Solidity. I mean, even people who've worked with Solidity, how long have they worked with it? I mean, Python, you can find stuff on Python that's been out there in the wild that people wrote 20 years ago, in terms of patches and fixes and vulnerabilities and stuff. So, that's really those languages have been tested. Solidity, you know, it's just what, 8 years old at most, and who knows it and what's it been pushed through. And, it's just a lot of times you're dealing with programmers who, even though they're doing their best, they just aren't that familiar to see the glaring blind spot.
It and that's something that I've heard. Now obviously, I'm not the Mr. Dev or anything like that, but one of the attractive things to Hive, and something Block Trades has mentioned even on our show before, is this is what will happen with Hive, is that it will be able to be developed and coded in the language that developers are used to. They don't need to go and learn Solidity to develop here. And do you think that's like, why hasn't that taken off? Is there a reason, or is it just because of the market cap of Hive and it's not the sexy token? Like, because that
Well,
to me
Hive doesn't
would be
have it. I
attractive.
mean, they're still designing the smart contract platform, but yeah, uh, the the half is going to use SQL. So, I mean, that's a language that most programmers understand. I don't know what Disregard's writing on his stuff. I think he's using Python, but I can't be sure. And I don't know what Vaultec is, but they're not writing their shit in Solidity. They're writing the platforms that will take either Python or SQL or something like that. And that's the way to go. Why hasn't it taken off is what you have is you have Ethereum, and then everything's forked off Ethereum that replicates what Ethereum does. So, Cardano hasn't done much. EOS didn't do much. I mean, as much hoopla as each of them came out with, they haven't done squat. Everything seems to be either on Ethereum or an Ethereum fork on the EVMs. Well, you're still essentially in that ecosystem, at least in terms of the coding. So that's why when you look at what Hive's building and the infrastructure, and especially like Speak Network, and I guess you could say VSC with Vaultec, although they're focusing on a little bit different thing, that he's more in the game design or excuse me, designing stuff for gaming. But that's where it's layer two. It's not layer one stuff. B, it's going to be in languages that coders know. C, it'll be able to scale because the witness nodes are not going to have to carry these smart contracts. And you can set as many node systems up as you want for each smart contract. And the node systems can decide which smart contracts they want to carry. So, you could end up with thousands of nodes with thousands of different smart contracts, and you know these 50 nodes have this smart contract on it, these 50 have 5 different smart contracts on it, these 25 have another one. I mean, you'll have all kinds of configurations, and that's where they call it horizontal scaling. And that's what's going to allow for more smart contracts to be hosted and not have to burden the base layer infrastructure, because you want to keep that base layer infrastructure as tight as possible. So that helps from a bandwidth point of view. And of course, it helps security. If you have, let's say, 50 nodes running a smart contract and that smart contract gets hacked, okay, those nodes are affected, but base layer of Hive doesn't get affected. None of the other smart contracts
Right.
are affected because they're not on the same node system. You get stuff going on Ethereum. It's all, that's where Ethereum Classic came from, because somebody hacked the original DAO that they had. So it's live and learn, and I do agree with the viewpoint. You don't want that at the base layer. I mean, that stuff's too much of a premium.
Good point. There you go. Thank you for the question, sir. Bradley Arrow taking part in the Threadcast. Look at him. He's got a few. He's actually got a couple of funny ones here. But first, the serious one. Is the SEC making a BlackRock ETF decision this Friday? If so, what way do you think it will go? And does it matter to Hive?
I thought I read somebody mentioned, I don't know how accurate it is, that the SEC has decided to punt till 2024. Maybe that was just somebody speculating. I thought BlackRock didn't come up till October, but I could be mistaken on that. I don't think they'll approve it whenever it comes up. I think Gensler is against spot pricing for Bitcoin ETFs, and he's made that point clear. Will it affect Hive? No, it doesn't affect Hive at all. I mean, we're so far off the radar, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, good point. And then we get a little funny. Does Task miss me when I'm not threading my arse off? By the way, I won't know till I listen to the show tomorrow on my drive to work. So he asks questions, but he's not listening. So he wants to know, do you miss him when he's not threading a lot?
No, I don't even think about
it. Sorry, Bradley. Yeah.
I like Bradley. He's like comic relief.
He's a real person. I've met him in real life. Even if it was on the side of a highway in Newfoundland, literally for 5 minutes. So, yeah. Literally pulled over on the side of the highway to meet him. Yeah. It's a good guy. Good guy. And then he follows that up with, where in the world is Trucker John for tonight's show? Again, I am in
Gary, Indiana. Look it up.
I'm in Gary, Indiana, the birthplace. And if I didn't have this tractor, the trailer attached, I would go and see Michael Jackson's home that he grew up in. It's literally a mile from me right now. So that's a little bit of American history there, a little bit of pop culture trivia, but very close to Chicago, Bradley. I'm technically in a suburb, kind of, sort of Chicago. So there you go. Chicago's got really good food. For the right, Task, where would be your favorite city in America for food? What would you say is the best city?
Well, New York, because they have just so many choices, because it's just such a melting pot. So you can get Thai, you can get Chinese, you can get Vietnamese, and of course you can get Italian. I mean, there's just so many different options there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Chicago is a great place for eats too.
Really good food in Chicago. Dallas is actually pretty good too. But New York is up there. Gotta be. So many different choices there. Anyways, enough of the food talk. I've been living off of trucker stop food for 3 days, buddy. Tell you, there's nothing tells you.
How was the meatloaf?
Yeah, I'm telling you, nothing tells you you're in America until you go look at the food choices in the truck stops. You wonder why truckers have horrible health. That's why.
Yeah,
like just awful. And I usually, before I start my week, I go grocery shopping because I have my little fridge and stuff. So I stock up on healthy food. Well, I'm running low because I've been on the road since Tuesday last week. So I don't have any healthy food left. So now I'm relegated to truck stop food. So next time
the only thing I could say is park as far away from the truck stop as possible to get as many steps in as you can.
Yeah, definitely. Haven't seen too many extra large truckers, but they are there. And my goodness, they are some big boys. Anyways, more useless information. By the way, I don't know if you saw my video last night. I'm going to start a series up every week. I'm going to do a YouTube short, not short, more of a little 5 to 10 minute video. Adventures in Trucking with Django. And I'm just going to share my experience on the road. So I know you're really fascinated by what I'm doing in this truck every day task. I know I can tell the excitement.
Well, Bradley Arrow is, so he can be following you. Maybe you can get somebody quickly to code so he can follow you on a map or something.
Right. Yes.
Like
GPS.
they do with the airlines, where you can enter in on the airline website. You can enter in a flight, and it'll show you where it is, and it'll update every few minutes as it gets new GPS. And 42 minutes away from landing, and so you can do that, and Bradley can follow you around.
I like it. I like it.
So
that's my new project on Hive. So tokenized friend of the show, watching on Vim as well, has a few questions. Hello, Maniacs. Do you guys know of any secret projects that may get unveiled at Hive Fest?
Well, if we knew, then it wouldn't be a secret, would it? I mean, it's
but even that, the past couple of years, I was really in tune to what was going on in Splinterland, so there was always something happening. I always knew there was this being developed, but I'm so far out of the loop, dude. I have no idea. I
mean, since we stopped interviewing people, I have no idea what's going on. I mean,
right? Yeah.
That's how we got our information. But no, I mean, Cal's presenting. I don't even know what the hell he's going to talk about. I mean, I don't know. So, I mean, I'm sure that
it'll be Leo.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
Really, you may have gotten some announcements from like Splinterlands but right. If you're a new project, you're probably not going to be speaking at Hive Fest. I mean, unless you're somebody like They Call Me Dan or something with a new project that you haven't announced. I mean, who if you're a new project, you're not going to be on the stage at Hive Fest, I wouldn't think. So, I mean, the only thing that can come out is some type of news from an already existing application or game or something, which, that's highly possible that, different groups, whether it be Splinterlands, I don't know if they're going to be there, but, if that somebody might have PT, has something announced, who knows? That's possible, but CyberX, maybe if they're presented, maybe they have something, but I wouldn't think anybody new is going to be able to show up and present at Hive Fest.
Yeah. Best Start follows up with my my comment about the drivers. He says, John, I do Department of Transport physicals, and I can assure you that there are some very large drivers out there. I've seen a few already.
I'll tell you what, even the ones who aren't very large, I know a guy, haven't seen him in a number of years, but I mean, he was probably a little taller than me, so he's maybe 5'10". And shit, John Go, he had to be 250, 260. I mean, not huge, but he needed to lose a good 50 pounds easy. And he would still be a bit chunky then, but it's tough. It's like you said, there ain't nothing healthy in those truck stops.
It's bad, man. It's like, and I guess the market is just not there. I guess these guys that go in there don't want healthy, because I'm sure if they were buying healthy food, the place would stock up. It's all just junk, man.
Burgers and fries and pizza.
Burgers, fries, pizza rolls, you know, just nothing. Like, you know, and then they'll try to put a little fruit cup there, you know, like they'll throw a fruit cup, like, you know, just give you a healthy choice, you know. But
Yeah, which is all
exactly.
sugar
Yeah.
stuff anyway.
There's nothing. It's pretty bad. So that's one thing I know I'm gonna have to do. Plan my trip a little bit more, is stock up so I have enough for the, you know, couple weeks that I'm probably on
Yeah,
the
at
road.
least like cans of tuna fish or something, you know.
Yeah. I'm all out. I went through my tuna. I went through my turkey. My salad. I have a little bit of salad left, and that's about it. So, anyways, I'm learning, man. I'm learning. So, Tokenize follows that up. Did you guys submit a suggestion for the Leo rebrand? First of all, I didn't even know that this was a thing. I heard rumblings of it, but where would you do this? And did you give a suggestion task? I didn't, because I didn't even know this was a thing.
Yeah, it's to rebrand, to get, you know, reframe, to be as inclusive as possible. And freeblowjobs.com I thought was a great name. And
That's definitely
yeah,
something.
I think it conveys, and it should get a lot of clicks.
Yeah,
And that's
Coming
what
Token 3.0. Right?
yeah, no, we'll keep it under the Leo umbrella. It may be
Okay.
part of Leo adults or
Okay.
Leo fans, or
Leo
but
fans, right?
no,
Yes.
I didn't submit any ideas, and I didn't get involved in that. I think there's like 500 HBD prize or something.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, to rebrand it. People are throwing up posts, and Leo Finance account put out a
Okay.
post, like, actually, I guess it already ended. I guess it was for a week or something, and you could put their entries in. So maybe that'll be announced at High Fest. Who knows? I don't know.
So is that the plan? Like, they're like, the front end is going to get away from the only crypto and investing stuff? Is that their plan, or are they?
Well, the front end is, because you got the community, so you can post on Leo into any community, which can be anything. I mean, you can post into the photography community from Leo. So once they added communities, Leo is no longer simply
Wow.
finance, because the communities, it's like, you know, whatever you want, and you can set up a community, because all that's at the Hive level. It's just reading the
So
Hive level. So you
that's
set
good.
up a community through Peak D, and you can post into it through Leo Finance into that community, and that could be any topic you want.
So how's that going to affect your Leo glossary stuff?
Not affected in the least.
Really? Search engines, stuff like that, like the links, because the domain would have to change, right?
Well, if they change the name, that'll be a redirect.
Right.
You know, they'll just, anything that goes to Rio glossaries redirected to
Right.
freeblowjobs.com or whatever they name it. And
What? Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
I mean,
oh boy.
it's, you
We
know,
got to get Task a girlfriend, man.
well, there's somebody who want to set up a tag there. I don't know why they didn't set up a community, but about relationships. And
Relationship advice from Task.
not, yeah, well, yeah, better than the advice that I saw he was dropping. Like, you know, do this to your woman and for a woman, and it's like, dude, be a man. What the fuck?
Tokenize is going back to our amazing talk about football, and I'm sure this would have been a discussion a couple of years ago in the Super Bowl. Why would you pass instead of giving the ball to Marshawn Lynch at the 1 yard line?
Yeah, I mean, that, I think that's taking it to the extreme, but yes, something like that would have probably stimulated, 10 or 15 comments in a threadcast, if you had
Yes.
a threadcast on that Super Bowl game, and that's per person, because people were just losing their shit. And that's what you get. You get, if two people are fans of a game and they're watching, it's like, why'd you run on third down, or why'd you pass on third down, or whatever. And it's just,
Yeah.
you
It's
know,
third and 20. Let's run. Like, what are you doing? Yeah.
yeah, it's, or you get the proverbial, you know, fill in the blank quarterback. He sucks. Um, it's coaches suck. I think the threadcast for the NFL will be a lot different than the threadcast for EPL, because I see what people talk about it, and they talk about it. They talk about some of the stuff in the game, but you have so much more action in the NFL on a play-by-play basis, and there's so much more to comment on.
Yeah.
Because you can literally agree or disagree with every play.
Yeah.
Um, and you have the refs, which are always a target for fans and people. You know, refs miss a holding call, or they get throw a fat flag for every touchy feely.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just all kinds of stuff. So I think these NFL threadcasts can get really big if you get a few people in them.
Oh yeah, I will be there every Sunday. Well, excuse me, because the Bills really don't play a lot on Sunday because they're all in primetime games. So that'll be fun. So I will definitely be cussing. And yes, anyways, Sad Cry says, "How is it possible? I am listening to the show live. Not sure what these guys are discussing though. We're discussing what you guys are discussing. That's the beauty of the Cryptomaniacs podcast. Whatever you guys want to talk about, that's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah,
Or we can talk about task suggestions for the Leo rebrand, which is, yeah.
Well, I don't know if that one quite will be accepted.
Yeah.
No, I mean, there's some people who had some good suggestions. I remember reading as some of the comments were being done. I mean, they they were pretty good. I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
what they're going to end up going with. I don't even, I guess it's Cal and Eric. I don't know who else is involved in the decision. Um, so, it's kind of, I mean, the name is important, but as Google is taught, a name doesn't mean anything. The fuck's a Google? Nobody knew.
Yeah. You had to Google it to find out what a Google meant, right?
I don't even know. Does it actually stand for something? I
It's
don't even know.
it's one with a million zeros after it or something like that.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Like Kodak.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that was just a bunch of.
That's interesting. I've read books over the years about that, brand names, and like if you can do a brand name right, like Kleenex. Kleenex is a brand
Well,
name of tissue
that
paper, right? Like,
yeah, they became associated with the product Coke and
right. Yeah.
that type of stuff. Give me what do you want? I'll have a Coke.
Yeah.
Even if it's a Pepsi. So yeah, I mean that's true too. But it's like people are losing their shit over Twitter. It's like, oh, Elon changed it to X, and
Yeah.
Twitter brand is so great. Which like, no, it's not.
Who
But then again,
cares?
what the fuck's with Twitter? I mean, who cares?
Right.
And they
Yeah.
say, well, when it becomes a verb, it becomes very special. Okay, but
Yeah.
who cares? It's like, especially if you're taking the company in a much different direction, um, who really cares? And name recognition is important, but I think that's probably the least important part of the brand, if you ask me. It's like, because you've had all kinds of stuff with all kinds of names, and you know, it's like what's Kodak? What's a Google? I don't
Right.
know. I
Yeah.
don't care. Priceline, pretty stupid name, works. What's a Twitter? Snapchat. I mean, there's a
What's
lot
a
of
TikTok? Right. Yeah.
yeah, TikTok, Apple.
It's what you do with the brand that matters.
Yeah,
Not so much the name, it's the brand. Now, names can be catchy and whatever, but It's more of the experience, right? Like, you think Apple would have been Apple if it was called Pear? They could have done that. Like, it wasn't just because it was called Apple it became Apple. They could have called it pineapple. They could have called it orange. They could have called it kiwi. It's the experience people have
Yeah.
with the brand that matters. So
Yeah, I mean, Apple, whatever fruit they were called, without the iPhone, they weren't, maybe the iPod, but until they got into those, they were nothing anyway. Even Apple
yeah,
was not
yeah. It was a very niche computer, personal
Yeah,
computer.
yeah,
Yeah, very.
expensive
Yeah,
computer. So, and iPhone. Okay, I mean, it's a brand now, a brand name now. Everybody knows iPhone, but does that really excite you? I mean, if you were a branding expert and you're thinking of names, would you like said iPhone is definitely a winner? No, but who cares? I mean, they sold a billion of them. They could have called it the phone. They could have called it a phone. They could have called it. It really wouldn't have mattered what they called it.
Z phone.
Z phone.
Z
Yeah,
phone.
I mean, it really doesn't matter in that
Yeah.
regard. So, Amazon, catchy name, but what did Amazon have to do with bookstores?
Right.
Nothing.
Exactly.
He just
Yeah.
he
It's a
just
good
chose
point.
Amazon, and it became a name, a household name. So,
And you don't even think of books anymore now with it.
well, yeah, because they far beyond what. And when you say Amazon, do people think of the damn rainforest? No, they
Right. Yeah.
think of the
They think
online,
of the company. Right.
the
Yeah.
retailer. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think name isn't really important. Logo is important because, like, when you see Apple, you see these logos.
Right.
That's
Right.
what
Right. Yep.
what you see. Coca-Cola. The Coca-Cola. Nike just from looking at the logo without even reading the name. And then, like you said, what it stands for, what you do around it, what you surround it with, and that's what makes the difference. And even if you go like within the Facebook family, I mean, Instagram's definitely a different market than Facebook. I mean, they're just totally different crowds. Um, so you know, the rebrand's probably a decent thing, but at the end of the day, the name is secondary to me. I'm not saying the rebrand's a bad idea, um, especially when they went communities. But and it's probably good to keep the Leo name. I mean, that's kind of catchy. That kind of fits in with some of the other imagery that's been created and that's already out there. So if you keep Leo in there and add to it, Leo verse, Leo whatever, um, you could have a winner. But then again, you could go with something completely different. Like Threads. Threads a neat
Right.
name. What the fuck does it mean? Doesn't mean anything. Has nothing to do with string. Has
Right.
nothing to do with, you know, sewing, what you use threads for. But it's a pretty neat name. And you can make it in a verb. Hey, I'm threading. Cool.
Yep.
Um, so cool Zuckerberg stole it. But I mean, it's
Yep.
but again, it's Threads was not a raging success for Mark Zuckerberg either. So the name didn't mean anything. It's
It's the
what
experience.
it's the
Yep.
experience. It's what they're bringing to
Completely.
the
Yep.
table. And Twitter now being X and you're Xing. Okay, it sounds stupid, and I'll be the first to admit I think the X name is a dumbass name, but it doesn't matter because the name means nothing. It's like, okay, in a year everybody will be calling it X, and it's going to be contingent upon what the app does, what's on the platform. If the same thing on the platform a year from now under X was the same thing under Twitter, it's a stupid move. But if a year from now they got a whole lot more shit in a lot more different directions on X than they had to with Twitter, Twitter was dead, because Twitter was a microblogging entity. The X may not be. And so Leo Finance was a niche blogging platform, if you will. Now, whatever the rebrand is, will be general purpose, all topics, and have these different components like hopefully shorts pretty soon and microblogging and long form content and whatever else can be added.
Yeah. A few follow-up questions here. Eric and Vim wanted to know if Leo is changing the names, are they going to change the token as well? I
No,
highly doubt it.
I would
No.
no, I
Yeah.
wouldn't think so.
Yeah. No, that's
In
their
fact,
choice.
I'm going to venture to say I'll go out on a limb, and I got no inside info on this.
Yeah.
I have a feeling Leo's going to be in the rebrand name, if I had to guess.
It's going to be in Leo will have some type of
I mean, it could be Leo X, Leo Verse, Leo Sphere,
right.
I mean, just
Yeah.
play with
Yeah.
that. If I had to
Yeah.
guess, I mean,
Yeah, that's what I
I
would have.
could be
That's what I was
surprised
thinking.
and
Yeah.
it would be something totally different, but
Yeah.
I would think Leo's going to stay in there because, again, you do a rebrand with the name, and is this really a rebrand or is it just a rename? That's the other
Yeah.
question
Right.
because you have other things out there in terms of um, graphics and stuff that's been used, which is still highly applicable.
Yeah, and the logo's good too. I like the logo, the color scheme. So,
Yeah,
anyways, um, Tokenize follows it up with something we were just talking about earlier. He said also the NFL game pauses after each play, so it gives people more time to comment. Yeah, that's what I would do. Every time there was a play or possession changed, I would go to Twitter because that's what I did because that's where all the smack talk was. So imagine that on Threads, and we have a winner there for sure. So
yeah,
yeah,
especially if you have like the Cowboys playing the Bills,
yeah.
where you have somebody or who does Tokenize root for? The Falcons? He, Cardinals? He roots for somebody odd.
No, the Saints. Doesn't he root for the Saints?
I thought it was one of those teams that had red jerseys, but maybe it's the
Right.
Saints. I don't know.
Right.
But you get him in there with whatever team he is, if they're playing the Cowboys or if they're playing the Bills, you know, or you get a New England fan with you as the Bills. I mean that can get kind of heated, and that's where
Yes.
things can really take off. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah. And he follows it up. Yeah, he said Saints. Yeah, he said yes.
Saints,
He
yeah.
also follows it up with Apple couldn't have been called Orange because apparently it's got something to do with a guitar, and it's a really good guitar amplifier or something. I don't know. Tokenize knows. I don't. So
Tokenize is from Brazil. He doesn't understand the American way. The American
I'm
way
Canadian.
is
I'm still trying to figure out your American way, man. Like,
the American way. Fine, I'll explain very simply.
okay. Yeah.
Fuck you, sue me. That's
Yes.
the American way. So
Yes.
if they wanted to
Pretty much.
use orange, they would use orange and say, "Okay, orange, sue me. We
Yeah.
don't care." And
Perfect.
that's what I mean. Have you seen? And I know Tokenize knows this because he follows technology. But have you seen what these fuckers do with each other with these patents? They just step all over each other's patents, and it's like they just steal shit blatantly, even though it's a
Yeah.
patent violation. It's like, yeah, sue me. And it's like, yeah, yeah, well, uh, Apple and whoever is a competitor of Apple, uh, Samsung, they'll have like 450 lawsuits on each side
Yeah.
against each other over patent infringement on their two latest phones, and it's like they just go back and forth and they just steal each other's shit and say screw you, sue me, and they go
Right.
back and forth and they say, okay, you can use those 400 and we'll use these 400. Let's call it a day. So, and then if you're a smaller company, they just take your shit and say, okay, you can sue me, and
Mm.
good luck on that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, but yeah, Apple called Orange would have been a dumb name. But if it was called Orange from day one, would it have mattered? Who knows?
Yeah.
It's you
Uh,
know,
Happy Elpud. I see you powered up, man. You get your badge? You did. I know you did. If you
I
did more
don't
than
know. I don't
150.
even pay attention to what I get. I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't do it through my main accounts anyway. So I power
Mm.
up. I move. Early in the year I started to diversify to different wallets just so I didn't have everything sitting in one wallet.
Right.
Um, and so as a security measure, so I have all my new Leo coming in And any Leo I buy, I end up moving it to another wallet and then just delegating to the account I thread with.
Yeah.
But I don't know what badges I got or have, or what are those high? What I don't even know what the hell the badges are.
Hive buzz. Yeah,
Oh,
you get
high
a hive
bus.
buzz.
Yeah,
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 you get a
I have
little
one.
badge.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure I got my badge in
Yeah.
whatever account I did it in, and it's you know I don't know, John. I understand gamification. To me, those badges. Um, I don't know if those high buzz badges really. I don't know if they gamify shit. I think the leaderboard that obviously the leaderboard at least this weekend that Leo put in that motivated people and gamified people, and people are still active even though the little contest they had is over. Um, Badges in an NFT that you can put in some type of game or use in some type of something else.
It's a
That
game board.
yeah, like we were talking on our last show,
Yeah.
kind of like the McDonald's things they do every
The
Christmas,
monopolies.
Monopoly
Yeah.
game and stuff.
Yeah.
You start getting these game boards, or you start getting. I mean, well, let's be honest. I mean, what was Splinterland? So those cards are just NFTs, and you're able to stack them and combine the powers and
Yeah.
then use them for battle or whatever. And it sounds like there's going to be some type of gamification on Leo for your activity. You mint these NFTs, the activity to mint or whatever, thread to mint or whatever Eric came up with. And that could be something that really then you get guilds, you get things like that, get teams. That really, to me, gets things going because
Dude.
if you have, like, say, a 1 week contest with teams and you take
We
your
used to do that just like the Leo like the Splinterlands. We had seasons. We did season. This is again 10, 15 years ago. We set up seasons and had teams and people competed and people lost their mind. They loved
yeah,
it. I mean,
yeah,
that's the thing. It's not just here's a badge and you get a badge. It's like this is like
yeah,
Cowboy said in Vim. We don't need no stinking badges. It's like the badges are just part of it. If you
yeah,
have a purpose for the badge, now people get really into it. Teams, a
yeah,
game, a season.
yeah.
Then people
And,
come in.
and you can also use that as access because
Right.
if you attain certain levels either within a certain period of time, so X number of threads, let's say, or X number of threads combined with X number of posts with X number of comments in a month period of time, well,
Yeah.
that entitles you to this badge, this NFT,
Exactly.
which then gives you access to this, whatever
Yes.
this is.
Yeah.
And you can do it for lifetime. And that's one of the interesting things where, and I was in agreement with Cal on this. What Elon's doing with X and that whatever the fuck he's calling it now, what was called Twitter Blue. I don't know, is it X Blue now? But with Twitter Blue, he's trying to move Twitter exclusively away from or being so dependent on advertising to the subscription model, which is smart because you know how well subscription models work. And has to do is he has to build value for the $8 a month. And so by doing that, you have to build in a bunch of features that these people have access to that non-payers do not. And I think part of it is long form content. I guess now you have to be a Twitter Blue subscriber to get some of the ad revenue. And so that's what he has to do to get people to fork over $8 a month. See, we can do the same thing on Leo with different features, but you can do it based upon Leo power. So, or now you can do it with these NFTs, or you can do it with a combination of the two, so that people who have the resources to go buy Leo can do it. Those who have the ability to earn Leo can do it. But obviously, let's say newer people or people without resources may not be able to accumulate a lot of Leo power, but they can work their ass off with activity and get these NFTs. And if this NFT is worth, let's say, 15,000 Leo power, now you are able to tie different features into these different levels, And there's your incentivization for purchasing the token and hodling and or activity. So you can really do some interesting things in that regard. Whereas, and again, as I've always said, I think Elon's going to clean up in the Web 2 world, but he's not transitioning to Web 3, and he's got limitations
Right.
because he's operating within that Web 2 business model. Now, he may eventually incorporate some Web 3 stuff. He may incorporate NFTs. I don't know. And if he does that, then he's probably moving a little closer, and maybe they can get a little more creative. But the creativity capabilities with NFTs and crypto is really amazing. And that's really something that I think Leo can take a hard look at and not only duplicate, but actually surpass.
I can't wait because I've seen how this can really boost the community. So,
I mean, have you seen a difference with just that leaderboard?
oh yeah, dude, it's people. That's the first thing I did when I stopped last night or yesterday. I was like, I went right to the leaderboard. That was the first thing I did, and I was like in the top 100, which was horrible. So I'm slowly creeping back up. But yeah, people go nuts for it. They love it. That's the thing. People will do things for intrinsic values, man. Like they feel good doing this.
Recognition.
Yeah, recognition. Yeah. Anyways, dude, good show, man. First show in America for me. First show for both of us being in America for the Crypto Maniacs. So I guess that's a milestone because I'm definitely not going to be the last one. So Thursday I'll be. I don't even know where I'm going to be Thursday, but crossing fingers. So yeah.
We may be sitting next to each other in the cab.
Yeah, I do. You never know. Like they go to Florida, so you never know, right? So who knows? Anyways,
you know what's going to happen. I'm going to tell the audience what's going to happen. Django's going to appear on air one day. He's going to say, "Yeah, dude, I was just in your neck of the woods last week. Yeah, I was right by you. Did you think to?"
Oh no, but yeah,
no.
well, I have one of my really good friends that I played Xbox with for like a decade plus, and he lives in the Chicago area. I called him 3 days ago, said I was going to be here. The guy's literally 30 minutes away from me right now. You think his lazy butt got out of it and came and saw me? Like it's whatever. I'm like, I tell people that I'm here and around. I can't go driving a tractor trailer around a city just for fun. It's not my tractor trailer. So I have to sit where they tell me to sit. So anyways, I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter at all. So anyways. Yeah.
Hey,
yes, sir.
Did you one other thing? Did you see? You remember the name? I might be mispronouncing this. Do you remember the name Mottler on Hive? Whale?
No.
He's just, it looks like down to the last of his power down from 2.6 million.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he started power down in February or something, and
wow, no, I didn't know.
Maybe it had to be a little later than that, but he powered it. Got 200,000 sitting liquid now, and every like 12 hours he's sending 50K out. So there's a whale that now he never posted, never did anything. So he or she could be Larimer for all I know.
There you go.
But
as the whales turn.
Well, that's, over time they do sell out.
Yep. Guys, thank you again. Have a fantastic evening. Get out there, thread a little bit, and we'll see you guys hopefully on Thursday. Toodles.
Ciao.